Trump overviewed the island's harm by means of helicopter and addressed cordial inhabitants. However, the government reaction will be measured by how the island at last recuperates, not photograph operations. When President Trump ventured off Air Force One at Muñiz Air National Guard Base this week, welcomed by a sign that read Trump, "Welcome to Puerto Rico and we are one," flanked by American and Puerto Rican signals on each side, the objectives of the trek were set for both the president and edgy Puerto Rican authorities. Trump required the trek to go well and to be told everything was going incredible on the tempest-stricken island, subsequent to hearing days of feedback of the government reaction to Hurricane Maria. The greater part of his remarks amid his voyage through the island Tuesday were minor departure from two feelings: FEMA, the military, the central government. Along these lines, Donald Trump, "We're making a fantastic showing with regards to in spite of phenomenal difficulties." Furthermore, Trump continued saying, Puerto Rican authorities, aside from one annoying leader, were stating that the Trump organization was making an incredible showing with regards to, and Americans on and off the island should tune into what they need to state. Puerto Rican authorities, in the meantime, required the president to feel invited. They required him to see Puerto Ricans as Americans and to leave the island content with his cooperations with government authorities and inhabitants managing an emergency. Since they've perceived how far lauding the president can go in maintaining his consideration and liberality on a circumstance still in desperate need of assistance. I was the press pool columnist for the excursion, in charge of sending reports to many journalists around the nation. Also, I am, the extent that I know, the main White House Squeeze Corps correspondent of Puerto Rican Drop. The excursion implied a great deal to me. I needed to catch as dependably as I could what was occurring amid the visit, yet additionally what the president's activities and words implied for the island and its battling occupants going ahead. In the concise visit, a photo developed of a president who was exceptionally content with the occasions of the day. "It was an incredible, extraordinary visit," he would state later on Air Force One, yet in addition of a pioneer Will's identity measured not by very much organized photograph operations with amicable inhabitants and energized individuals from a congregation, yet by what he does beside help the 3.5 million U.S. nationals depending on him to lift up a smooth island. The tone for the day was set at the main stop, in instructions with FEMA, military, and Puerto Rican authorities, where Trump energetically told everybody collected that FEMA manager Brock Long was experiencing a great deal, as in the wake of accepting A+ grades for his reaction to tropical storms in Florida and Texas, he quickly needed to manage the special difficulties of Classification 5 Hurricane Maria. Trump said thanks to Puerto Rico Governor Ricardo Rossello, who he noted isn't even from my gathering, before truly saying to Congresswoman Jennifer Gonzalez-Colón that she should rehash a portion of the pleasant things she has said in regards to the government reaction before the amassed media. Back-end has an undaunted partner in Gonzalez-Colón, and she demonstrated it at the instructions, saying at no other time has the island had this level of correspondence with the central government. Trump called her liberal, for her remarks. Be that as it may, not a word was gotten notification from San Juan Mayor Carmen Yulín Cruz, who Trump had assaulted on Twitter throughout the end of the week for reprimanding his reaction to Maria. The two quickly traded merriments previously the preparation, yet when Gonzalez-Colón's remarks achieved their crescendo and the greater part of the gathered group acclaimed for the government and military reaction, Yulín Cruz kept her hands fastened before her, declining to participate. It was simply after the cameras left and bureau individuals had a meeting shut to the press that she was permitted to take an interest, getting to be noticeably enlivened and vocal, as per a source in the room. Sparing lives matters, we need to keep our emphasis on forestalling passings, was the message she gave the president when they talked quickly, said the source who addressed her. Afterward, Yulín Cruz would tell columnists she was disturbed when Trump said at the preparation that Puerto Rico tossed our financial plan somewhat twisted, however that is fine, calling him the miscommunicator and boss. However, those sorts of remarks were to a great extent far from general visibility amid Trump's visit. The president's Propel staff, entrusted with guaranteeing that what the press saw and conveyed of Puerto Rico was sure for the president, to a great extent succeeded, at any rate when Trump adhered to the content. Against the scenery of a 86-degree shady day, the president's motorcade passed broken expressway dividers and several brought-down trees while in transit to a mobile visit. One lady held up a sign understanding "You were an awful hombre" as Trump touched base outside Guaynabo, where the solid homes were generally in place. As the pool correspondent, I was the main journalist permitted to join the press picture takers and draw sufficiently near to hear what the president said to the families he met in the area. Strolling with First Lady Melania Trump, Roslo, and Puerto Rico First Lady Beatriz Roslo, the president told a family "We will enable you to out," and however he was censured for picking a white-collar class neighborhood with solid homes instead of a range with more crushed wood homes, the reaction on the ground was warm. A man cresting over a fence with his child to show signs of improvement. "Take a gander at the hullabaloo," addressed my inquiry on the off chance that he was upbeat. The president came. "Indeed, obviously," he stated, before arousing the enthusiasm of a mystery benefit operator who tapped his pocket to ensure he didn't have a weapon. "It's the first occasion when I have the president so near me." The vast majority on the island didn't see the president, yet a considerable lot of the individuals who did valued that he came and expressed gratitude toward him for his visit. Trump's next stop at Zealous Calvary Chapel likewise began on sound balance for Trump and Puerto Rican authorities. Before strolling in, Roslo again said he was appreciative for the president and the national government. Inside, a benevolent church swarm, with attendees both disseminating and getting help, hurled a major cheer for Trump, and moved to take pictures of him and the Maine woman. "There's a considerable measure of adoration in this room, a great deal of affection," Trump stated, satisfied. Before Tuesday, Puerto Rican authorities engaged with the arranging of Trump's visit let me know there were plans to bring out camera-accommodating pictures from Houston after Hurricane Harvey of a quiet Trump blending with nearby inhabitants, posturing for selfies, and passing out nourishment and supplies. With jars of nourishment and sacks of rice before him, that arrangement looked prepared to go enthusiastically. Be that as it may, in a strange minute, the president did his best Stephen Curry pantomime and started delicately shooting paper towel moves into the confounded however stricken group. Trump, who was charmed by jars of chicken, gave out electric lamps also. "Electric lamps, you needn't bother with them any longer. You needn't bother with them any longer," he said. The pictures and video were simple grain for fault finders via web-based networking media, where individuals were both shocked Trump's supercilious style and brisk to take note of that most by far of the island is still without control, and likely needing spotlights. Trump himself tended to a portion of the feedback hours after the fact, tweeting that there were such huge numbers of fake news stories today. "Regardless of what I do or say, they won't compose or talk truth.